I'm Rob Brunstad, the course manager for CS201, and I'm here to give you a quick rundown about the class. I've been affiliated with the course for over 2 years now, and I'm excited to share with you why I'm looking forward to another great semester. So, what is CS201? Well, first and foremost, it's a foray into a broad spectrum of computer science topics that are foundational to any career, even loosely rooted in the field. These ideas are so fundamental that people working in CS-related industries often can't remember not knowing them. In this class, we'll explore recursion, Turing machines, circuits, computer architecture, context-free grammars, and many, many more topics. Although all homework assignments will be completed in Racket, a rather unique functional programming language, CS201 isn't designed to be a course about Racket. Instead, it's a course about problem solving. The idea is that after completing CS201, you'll be able to easily apply the techniques and ideas learned over the course of the semester in any language you choose. CS201 is geared towards students who've taken at least one programming course. This prerequisite is easily fulfilled. If you've taken CS50 or CS112, you're in the clear. Equivalent courses at other institutions will count towards this requirement as well. Some more about me. I actually graduated from Yale in 2017 with a BS in chemistry. I'd only taken one computer science course as an undergraduate, and I absolutely loved it. So I did the only logical thing someone could have done in my shoes. I abandoned all aspirations to practice chemistry and spent the next year taking the entire CS core curriculum here at Yale as a non-degree student. After taking CS201 that fall, I hopped in as an undergraduate learning assistant, or ULA, for the class in the spring. I then got my master's in CS, once again here at Yale, while serving as the course manager for CS201, and now I'm the course manager for 201, 223, and 327. I love being a part of the CS201 teaching team, mostly because of our hardworking and exceptionally friendly ULAs. Every semester we train around 20 of them, and they hold office hours regularly throughout the semester. If you need help, you will be able to get it. We'll often have 2 3-hour blocks of office hours running on the same day. And of course, Dr. Slade is an absolute joy. You will love his dry humor and in-depth commentary on all things CS. Homework assignments are a large component of this course in terms of its required time commitment. There will be either 7 or 8, and they will be largely self-contained. They'll consist of a number of bite-sized problems, each designed to help walk you through the process of cleanly solving a larger problem. When I took the class, I found completing these homeworks to be extraordinarily rewarding. I could look back at my work and easily see how all the individual components fit together. It was oddly satisfying. You'll be submitting your homework assignments via a specialized cluster of computers to which you can remotely connect, although you don't need to worry about the specifics quite yet. In the first week of class, I'll lead a few workshops on how to interact with this environment. Once again, we'll be using Racket. Although you'll have at your disposal a full-featured programming language, you really only need to know the basics. And for that reason, the first few weeks of class will be dedicated to getting you on your Racket feet. After that, we'll talk a bit about computability. That is, what can and can't be computed. Surprisingly, there exist several questions that you'd think a computer would be able to easily answer, but in fact have been proven unanswerable. We'll also spend quite some time on Turing machines, a mathematical model that is tightly tied to the idea of computability. Then we'll focus on Boolean expressions, truth tables. This segment of the course marks the beginning of a fundamental build-up. We'll take the simple idea that a variable can be true or false and climb our way up to modern computer architecture. Of course, there will be several stops along the way. We'll talk about gates and circuits, probably my favorite part of the course. The circuits problem set is an absolutely transcendental experience, one of the best designed assignments I've ever come across as a student or instructor. You'll build a working simulator, in Racket, of course, and investigate a number of extremely fundamental circuits. Then we'll abstract away all the gates and wires, instead focusing on the functional utility of several important circuits to inform an understanding of a simple computer architecture. Of course, we'll then simulate that architecture. You will build a fully functional toy computer inside your computer. We'll disambiguate machine and assembly code, and you'll implement it all. We'll then work our way into the fundamentals of natural language processing and how computer scientists think about efficiency. And just like that, the semester will be over. All the while, you'll be working on your ability to think recursively. Recursion is such a fundamental programming technique, and by the end of the semester, you'll be sick of it, in a good way. I hope you're as excited as I am for CS201 next semester, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all over Zoom.
So one thing that I'll never forget about taking CS201 with Professor Slade is that whenever he was teaching us something that wasn't going to be on our exam, he would jokingly tell us that while we weren't going to be tested on the information, knowing it would make us more interesting people. I always thought that comment was kind of funny and silly and odd when I was in lecture, but with reflection, I realized that it's that reminder that really gets to the core of what makes CS201 such a special class. Because while Racket isn't the most applicable coding language outside of the course, the topics that the course covers and that you use Racket for have so much breadth, from Turing machines and state machines to computer architecture to logic gates to sorting algorithms. I really do think you leave the class as a more interesting person. And that's what I loved so much about taking CS201 in the first place, and that's what drew me back as a ULA a couple years later.
My favorite part about being a ULA for 201 this semester was honestly helping all of you finish your homework. Trust me, I know exactly how it feels to stay up way too late and not have any idea how to solve the problems on your PSETs. So me and the other ULAs, we're here to help.